Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check waifu waifu. King Telliano, is that you?
Cut week was happening.
This is episode 237 of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. As always, is brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Shout out to the Patreon producers, Christian, the archivist, Dre, the Go G, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk Podcast, J. Lee Trey from Shogo High, Head the Pro from Chaotic Culture, Explicitly, All for One Matt, Monique Williams, Nachi, Semi Sensei, Frozen, Sophia, and T Money Fingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We truly appreciate you. It means everything to us. Every time we get a new Patreon, we like to give him a shout out. Shout out to Jake Colt. He left. He sent us a message on Discord. Let me go ahead and go to that message real quick. There it is. He said, found the pod at the start of the year. Been enjoying the winter season cover so far, fellas. And J Code is a new Patreon supporter at the Anime Fan tier. We truly appreciate you for supporting us at any tier. Anybody at any tier, we truly appreciate it. It means the world to us. So, welcome to the fam. He found our stuff on YouTube. So that's dope. That's like a podcaster's favorite thing to hear is how somebody found you and when they found you. He said at the beginning of the year, and he started listening for the winter coverage, and we're so glad to have you here with us. And thank you for joining the Discord. We had a great conversation. Make sure if you support us on Patreon, or even if you don't, you go to miccheckwaifuwaifu.com, and on the side panel, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a join Discord button. Click that button and it takes you right to our Discord. You can join in on the anime talk conversations that we have every week. We also just dropped a new After Story podcast episode, our Patreon exclusive episode in video form and podcast form. Preferably you watch the video form because there is some bonus content at the end, some bonus Yakuza content at the end that we decided to throw in there. It's very, very crazy. Very fire episode of the After Story. It's about what's been up and what's going on and what's next for us at Mic Check Waifu Waifu. So if you support us at any tier, you get access to that. Not only that, but you get access early of the video version of this podcast. You get it a week before everybody else do. You also get access to Mic Check manga and take talks and other bonus video content over on patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Now, remember, next week's show, January 28th, is our live show. We're going to be live on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Mic Check Waifu Waifu. It is our Mic Check Live 5 reintroduction 6. For those of you, the uninitiated, reintroduction episodes of us reintroducing ourselves to our newer listeners, like the homie J. Colt and others that join the show later on, where you get to know us a little bit better in the way where you can start the podcast from that episode and continue on from there, like you never missed an episode. So we appreciate those that come through. January 28th, 10:30 Central Time, youtube.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Okay, I think that's all the rigmarole. Without further ado, let's do further. How are you feeling?
Oh man, I'm good, bro. I'm real good. Good week, bro.
Definitely.
I really appreciated the fact that we did After Story.
Me too.
Because it's been a minute, and a lot of that is attributed to the fact that holiday season. Y'all know I'm a part-time Geek Squad employee, and it was nice to actually get back to that part of the podcast. You know what I mean? It's relaxing, refreshing, enjoyable. It's different, and we just talk.
For sure. It's like I said, it's some of our favorite content that we do because it's literally it's us unleashed essentially, where we don't really talk personal stuff on the show that much. All of that is all in After Story, and being able to unleash what we've been having, what's been going on the past like month that we missed of the after story, and then what's continuing, what we have planned next going forward for the new year and more. It's also fun to check out. So make sure y'all check out that episode. It's at the After Story 72. Link your Spotify to your to your Patreon so you can get access to all of the shows and stuff. So check it out there. And if you want, you can also follow that RSS feed, because there are a couple of free episodes that we got on there too for people. If you scroll all the way, it's like some of them were like when it was Mic Check Encore. It was a long time ago. So make sure y'all check it out. But this is we are coming up on our 6th year almost of doing this.
Yeah.
2019. We've been doing this since 2019. Yeah. So, man, I'm doing this for a minute. But that's what we are. We are the Anime Podcast. It's brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CT.
That's how it's been.
That's how it's been for a very long time. So, for me, man, I've been good too, bro. Listen. The release of the After Story make my week even better. And then we've been enjoying Power World. It's been a good time playing that, to be honest. I'm thinking that me and you just start a world together.
100%.
And just kind of play through it and see where it goes, what happens. Because I got one with the boys. It's fun. It's fine, but it's fine. It's a good time. But I would love to just chill and hang out with my brother. I think that would be more fun for me personally. So I think we should just boot up the world and wreak some havoc. But this is an anime podcast, and we're here to talk about anime. This is cut week. Every season, everybody has the 3-episode rule where there are certain shows that we decide to cut. And this one is a tough one, man. This one is a tough one. I am going to say that early at the top of the show. It's going to be a tough one to cut, because there is some cuts and there are some other things that is impossible to cut, but I digress. Tell, what was your episode of the week this week? The hardest week of all time.
It was a tough week to give an episode of the week. And so I messaged Polow. Well, no, I messaged the Mic Check Waifu, anime talk, and say, yo, I'm so happy I chose the Unwanted Undead Adventure as my sleeper. But hear me out. I'm so happy that Polow chose Hokkaido Gals. That episode, to me, especially that ending, that was some high quality content right there, bro. Yeah. That was high quality content right there. Yeah. So Hokkaido Gals, that got my episode of the week.
I said this in our Discord, in the anime talk as well. This is the hardest episode of the week for me of all time, because it was between 3 shows.
Barring Freerin and stuff like that, because Freerin is an easy choice.
Of course, Freerin is going to take a break from being episode of the week because of this is a new season, so we got to give love to the new stuff,
right?
But the 3 shows being, I'm gonna pick my episode of the week and then I'm gonna tell you the 3 shows. Okay, hardest week ever. Hardest week ever.
I swear.
And I'm picking this at the very last minute because I still haven't decided between these 3. But I'm going to have to say, A Danger's in My Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly because this season has started off, it's just as spectacular as it began. But the other 2 that were extremely close, and I was just about to have it as my episode of the week until I really just thought about Danger's in My Heart right now. And that's the 7th time loop, man. The 7th time loop is absolutely incredible. It's incredible. It's one of the best shows this season for sure. Very, very hard week because stuff like Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy season 2 is doing real good for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been an absolute tough week. 7th time loop, Danger's in My Heart, and then the other one that really had me this week was the Unwanted Undead Adventure.
Yeah,
the backstory we got in that, oh God, the characters we have in that show is spectacular.
The way they building the world out.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal stuff. Very stacked season, man. This is probably one of the best seasons we had in a very long time. Easily.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
It's insane. Okay. Here's a few things I want to talk about.
Let's do it.
I picked up Ishura, or whatever the fuck it's called. What it did to me is it made me like Undead, Unluck more. And I think the show is the most boring show I've watched this season for sure, by a lot. Sure? I only watched 2 episodes so far. The first 2 I was sitting here fucking, and I was just watching them, and that's why I was like, when I came into the Discord before we recorded, I was fucking yawning because the whole time I was watching those 2 episodes, I'm like, yo, this shit is mad boring. It's so fucking boring, bro. Because it does the thing I hate the most. Okay, the thing I hate the most is it's bouncing around between different characters, spewing out lore and bullshit via a narrator, and what it's doing is like it's building stuff up for something that obviously is going to turn out to be some fucking game that I can't care about because all we're doing is jumping around and spilling out lore via a narrator. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything that's going on, and it's mad fucking boring. It's so boring. Like, it says in episode 2. It was a moment between, I believe, this commander and his wyvern, and they had this fucking heartfelt moment that's supposed to be this fucking, I'm like, emotional like moment, and I can't give a fuck because I don't know you, and I don't care about you, and I don't like it. Just the best thing about the show, though, I will say, is that the spells that they do are fucking dope. Like the way they talk and the sound design of those spells are incredible. So
I think that's what I said. Yeah,
it's great for throwing hands, and if y'all love that, more power to y'all. I appreciate those that, you know, have that special love for that type of stuff. But for me, it puts me to fucking sleep. It puts me to sleep, especially when it's done like this.
And let me tell you, episode 2, I have to completely disagree with, other than the fact that like heartfelt moment. I agree with that because I didn't really feel that. But I did enjoy episode 2 a lot. Episode 3, though, I feel you 100%, bro. Where am I watching again? That's how I felt. I was like, yo.
Hey, I didn't even watch episode 3 because I can already tell you when I watch it, I'm probably going to drop it after episode 3. I'm going to watch it this week. I promise y'all that. But I am probably going to drop it.
Episode 3 put it on a possible chopping block for me. And I feel like I'm not going to drop it yet. But episode 3, I was like, ooh, nah. I'm not feeling it. And it felt like it was a continuation with the character that we did get introduced to. But it felt like it was still all over the place. That they didn't exactly have a direction. And you want to know what it reminded me of? It felt like it was setting me up for the Zodiac Wars anime.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. But
it felt like it was setting me up for that. Just ain't nobody important died yet.
Right. That one, the Zodiac Wars was a little bit more concise because we get a little bit of shorter time with like a smaller scale, right? This one seems like it's supposed to be this people coming from across the different worlds, worlds to meet up for this some kind of a game to become the new Demon King, essentially. And it's pseudo. Just I don't like that shit. It doesn't do it for me anymore. Like, I've seen it all before. Like, I need something new from this type of anime. Does that make sense? I've seen every single type of battle game out there imaginable. They're trying to be different in this one per se, by people having heroes from different worlds essentially come in, or not even to come in, but be there, or different continents and stuff like that come in and take part in this future competition that's coming up. But it's solely just, it doesn't impress me. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, whoa, that's crazy, this is a good show. It's just not me. It's just not for me. But if you like that action stuff, if you like dark action, it's for you. So I'm not going to take that away from anybody else, but it ain't for me.
Can I add something to the mix?
Sure.
Stepping away from Ishura a little bit. I watched what's it called? A Sign of Affection.
Oh yeah.
Now this was almost episode of the week.
Yeah, that was the. I think that was, did I say that was the third one? I think that's the third one. I didn't say it.
The only reason I didn't make an episode of the week is because I watched 3 episodes and I felt like that just was unfair.
It's
because
special.
as a slice of life, this felt damn near perfect, bro.
It's special.
It felt so crazy. I was like, oh, it's beautiful. And then it sounds amazing. And then I love these characters. Even the dude who's kind of a douchebag. I don't hate him because I kind of see where he's going. And it's just like the friends, everybody is so like intriguing in their own ways. I was like, oh.
Can I say something about the douchebag real quick?
Go ahead.
I think what he is spectacular. Because what it is he's trying his best to make her feel as normal as possible. In a world where she should be as isolated as possible. He's doing it in a way where he's like, I'm not going to give her special treatment, but I also like don't want to show that I'm crushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's very sweet and endearing, and him being a part of it, the way he's a part of it, makes me love the show even more because there's nobody in the show you can dislike.
Right, and none of these are that like flimsy male protagonist character that we just, we hate that specific type.
And we're used to.
Man, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is it right here. This is fire.
It's special.
It was crazy. Like I said, sound design wise, like all the sounds just felt like it was resonating with me somehow. And I was using my glasses and the speakers on there are amazing. I was like, nah, this is what TV should be. It was crazy. A Sign of Affection. As Crystal Sleeper. Yes. Yeah, she chose Heat.
Yeah, she never missed. She never missed.
She chose Heat. Goodness.
And to spin a block back around on the topic we touched on last week. Yesterday? Last week. And that's the Tales of the Wedding Rings. You were right. So what it was for me is I was blinded by the art style. I didn't consider the animation. Because even in the most recent episode, the 3rd episode, I could see the animation not being as impressive as you like I said. Like I thought it was, only because I was more so focused on the art style of the show. It's the art style of the show that I absolutely love. The character drawing design,
really good,
and everything like that. But the animation is lackluster, and you were right about that. So I just wanted to spin the block, make sure I clarified that for this week. But that's a show that I'm going to continue. I'm looking at the list. There is one that I already dropped that I talked about. The yuck of some people's yum that I completely dropped day 1, episode 1. I don't even want to say the name of it because I don't even want to give it that thunder again. But there's another one that is possibly on a chopping block that I am not feeling right now, and that's The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil. That one, I can see what it's doing and where it's going. There is something that happened in the most recent episode that I thought was funny. Now, this is the most recent episode being episode 2 because I know it airs Monday. We record Sunday. The episode airs Monday. So this... Y'all hearing this before we watch that episode, the 3rd episode. But episode 2, there was a Hajime no Ippo reference in this episode that was pretty funny. But other than that, I am not enjoying the show because it's very, very not good in my opinion.
And hear me out. This show is approximately 11 hours and 34 minutes from getting dropped. Yeah. Because that's going to be the 3rd episode. That's the 3rd episode. We will see. And I agree with you. It's definitely on my chopping block.
Very predictable. Like I know where it's trying to go. But the comedy, I think the comedy is not what's for me. Because the Hajime no Ippo reference went on for entirely too long in episode 2. Like, it was like all the entire episode. I'm like, okay, I get it. Come on, man. Let's move on. And it's very tired comedy to me.
And then just to kind of add to that, so I know we gonna drop some stuff, right?
Are we?
And I feel like the one that I know for sure and I hate to say it because I'm probably gonna binge it at the end. That's majority of my drops are gonna be that. I'm gonna wait till the season is over to binge them.
But are you? Because look at last season.
That's true because I wasn't expecting the last season to be packed like that.
No, true.
But also, Migi and Dolly, I still got to finish that because I got 5 episodes and I was like, yo, this is great, but this season is so stacked, it's so hard to go back to it.
Right.
But hear me out. Polo might agree with me on this if he hasn't dropped it already. The Witch and the Beast.
Oh yeah, it's dropped.
I hate to say it, man. I'm gonna drop it. I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna drop it. I'm not gonna watch it until this season is over, and that could be next season being too thick, meaning I don't ever pick it up again. So it is going to drop list, but with an intent to come back and finish it, hoping that it gets better. And I'm sorry, I know that's some of y'all sleeper. It's just not. It ain't for me.
Sometimes they miss too.
It don't even seem fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm not even like. I'm not trying to be mean. It's not fun. It's not. It's not good. It kind of looked good.
Does it?
But I said kinda. But that's kind of it. Like I don't even really enjoy these characters. Yeah. I don't enjoy the situations they're in. I don't enjoy the conversations they have. I don't enjoy the moments they have. So for me, it's just so hard to sit here and say I'm enjoying this. I watched it. I watched it when it released, and I had to run it back to make sure I watched it. And I was like, I did watch this, and I was, man, I'm not trying to be funny, Polo.
That's just hilarious. I'm sorry.
I had to run it back because I was like, ain't no way I'll watch this and I remember nothing about this episode. I remember nothing about it, man.
That's crazy.
Nothing. I completely forgot about the whole people being slaughtered in the city thing. It was completely what? Yeah. It's definitely getting dropped at least for the remainder of this season, and hopefully I can spin the block back to this one and finish it when it's complete.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, bro, outside of that, it's really hard to find anything to drop. I right before we started, I started about the first 4 minutes of Fluffy Paradise. Yeah, Fluffy Paradise. Mm-hmm. It seems good so far. Like the first 4 minutes of the episode. Right. I think it was TCB in our Discord. And he said that to give it a try. I wish I would have finished the episode, but so far the good 4 or 5 minutes I watched of it's really, really good so far. About a 27-year-old lady who worked herself to death and was reincarnated into another world, but she wanted her special power to be to just pet Fluffy things. So it seems like it's gonna be like just a sweet, nice little shoujo chill. Yeah, just one of the cute joints, and I'm enjoying it. I am going to say this: there are a couple of things that are only on episode 2, like Live Fantasy, obviously, but that season is fire so far. Hokkaido Girls, we already know that's fire. That's my sleeper, so it has to be continued no matter what. But The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash. This one, I am absolutely loving so far. I don't see it falling off a cliff one more episode, but the episode 2 is quite sad. Sad and it was mostly like cute and relaxing the entire way through until she realized that she's this little girl is still being haunted, or traced by her old town. So she gotta keep moving, and it was sad, but it was a fantastic episode. I think this show is going to be one of the quiet special shows that I think more people should give a chance to. But I'm gonna suggest this: maybe wait till it's done.
Right. Maybe
wait till it's done so you can give yourself room for the other bangers that are like so powerful this season. Even though
that was the weakest.
Yeah, The Weakest Tamer began the journey to pick up trash. Even though it launches at the beginning of the week where there's not that many shows. We were talking I was talking to T Money Fingers in our Discord about the release schedule of these shows, man, and it's killer. It hurts, especially with the way we do the show, because it's either Monday, Tuesday. There's about 4 or 5 shows, and then the rest of the shows are Saturday and Friday and Saturday. It kills me.
So we did talk about on After Story, for those of y'all who were uninitiated and unable to listen, that we will be trying to watch what comes out on specific days, and bring those conversations to Discord a bit so that we can talk about them more. So if you're watching anime on the day that it releases, please continue the conversation in Discord so we can continue to bring that and, just continue that engagement. It's really good and fun talking to y'all.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to continue that. And if y'all cutting stuff this week like we are,
share that.
Interesting to see what gets cut, because we want to see that for sure.
I can't wait to see what people are cutting and keeping. Yeah, I mean this season, outside of that, I don't think I'm gonna drop anything else. Even the one that's like, I know that's not really that good, but I'm still enjoying so much, is that My Instant Death ability is overpowered. It's not good. I wouldn't recommend it to people. Not with this season hitting the way it is, but I enjoy it. Like I can watch it and sit there. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's interesting to me. It's one that's the. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but that's one of the best things, though, right, bro? Like sometimes it ain't gotta be good. It's just gotta be interesting enough to you.
Yes.
And that's what we're here for. Yes. Stuff that suit us, and people gonna watch it. Like
or hope they do.
Yeah, and people who vibe with us, they'll end up liking it. But the strongest tanks, strongest tanks labyrinth raids.
Yeah,
come on, bro. That's a very. Now I'm not saying it's good. It definitely ain't bad. It definitely ain't bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying that, like, some of the stuff that we watching, it ain't got to be for everybody else. But I hope that you pick it up and enjoy it the way we will.
And to be fair, like a lot of our listeners like stuff we don't. For instance, the Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil. There's a few people that like that one. There's a few people that like Witch and the Beast. I'm gonna be real with you. It's only one person I know that like Witch and the Beast. Shout out to TCB. but like there's some shows that here that people like, and then I'm sure there's some shows that they don't like that we like. So
right.
I'm gonna continue to sing the praises of the Banished from the Heroes Party. Mm-hmm. And then I think we should go ahead and give, probably, this is tough, the first round of our top 5 must show watches. We can only pick 5.
This season?
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's a tough one, man. This is the toughest 5 we got to pick to give to people. So top 5 most watches for the winter so far. We do this we try to do this. I think we should do this. I don't know if we do this or not. Maybe the archivist can tell us, but maybe we should try to do this twice a season to give top 5 must watches the beginning of the season and then top 5 must watches at the end of the season, to see if the list changes, but give people what we think the show should be. Now it's kind of tough because do we add season 2s, or, you know what I'm saying? Do we avoid them? Do you want to stick with just new shows?
I think we should avoid season 2s.
Okay, I'm with that.
You gotta watch the first season to even make that doable, right?
Right.
So as new introductions or new introductory series, I think that's what we should stick to. Stuff that's new in general, outside of manga or manhwa or whatever.
Right. So before we get to that, then I just want to say, Banished from the Heroes Party season 2 continues to be special. Dangers in My Heart. Dangers in My Heart is fantastic. Shout out to T Money Fingers, who said that this is his number 1 show this season. Can't agree with you more, because that is special. And then what else is another season 2 here? A Moonlit Fantasy. Tsugamishi Moonlit Fantasy is a very special show. I just want to give those. Oh, duh, I'm tripping. And Love Don't Cost a Thing season 2. Such a great fucking season so far. I'm loving where that. Yes, okay. I'm so glad I remember this, because that's another show that starts at the beginning of the week, and I always forget about it after all the heat that I watch. But bottom tier character Tomozaki is special. This season has implications of opening up a can of just a bunch of different outcomes of where the story can go. between Tomazaki, our main character, and him opening up and coming out of his nerd shell and starting to get to know people has been fantastic. Aoi, I think her name is Aoi. She is starting to show the real her instead of the facade she's been putting on for many years to become as popular and as cool with everybody as she is. And then it's this one character who's kind of like a wild card who is very blunt and very open. She's getting help from Tomazaki to become more in line with the class, because the class is going through a situation to where it's one girl who's kind of bullying and causing drama and this discourse within the class, and it feels so fucking good. It's like special. It's a special conflict and character development between so many different characters that you like and enjoy, that I'm so glad I had to get that off my chest, because bottom tier character Tomazaki, aka Love Don't Cost a Thing, is a very special show, and I think it should get some love that it deserves. So there's that. Okay, now.
Oh, you spitting? My bad. You spitting.
While I was doing that, I'm sure Tel was building his top 5.
Of course.
Now, top 5 must watches for the winter season so far. I don't know if we should do this in any particular order.
I don't think we should do it in a specific order, because I feel like obviously some stuff is gonna overlap for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have a couple that are different.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely think we should do. We'll see what coincides.
Let's do it. Starting number 5 for me.
Are we going in a order?
I'm just counting down.
Okay.
It don't have to be a particular order.
Okay, because I was gonna say, man, now I gotta
take it for what y'all take it for what y'all will. Okay, I'm not gonna put it in particular order at the beginning of the list, but I am gonna have a number 1, and I think most people must watch. That's how I'm gonna do it. So
okay,
so 2 through 5 is gonna be whatever, but 1 is gonna be the number 1 show I feel like y'all should watch. And so starting for me, I'm gonna have to say, this may shock you, but the Undead, Unwanted Adventurer, I think this is a great show. If you like action, if you like world building, and if you like character design, heavier character design, characters that feel proportional to the world that they're in. Because I can't stand in some anime, or in most anime, is that the characters are always so small. They're tiny. And this one, characters feel proportional. As strange as that sounds, I'm sure y'all get what I mean by this. But
yes,
Undead, Unwanted, the Unwanted Undead Adventurer, very special so far in the first 3, and I don't think it's going to get anything but better in future episodes.
I'm just gonna go off straight off the top and say yes. Same. I'm also, that's also gonna be on my list. But to skip past that and continue, A Sign of Affection. Like I said, it is it was there for episode of the week for me. I just couldn't do it because I felt like it was unfair. But A Sign of Affection so far, yeah, go ahead and watch that one for damn sure.
That'll be at number 4 or whatever number you want to put it at. I don't know. Yeah,
we'll put it at number 4.
Okay. I'm going to have to agree. Number 4, Sign of Affection for sure. God, it's one of the special slice of life that gives me chills in a lot of instances, and it's mostly from inner monologue that is so adorable. It's inner monologue that is something about characters that could do that in a fun way that I think is totally worth watching. So The Sign of Affection, number 4 for me as well. It's a beautiful art design. Characters are also proportional to the size of the world, which feels nice. And it's just a beautiful looking show in many different ways with a great cast of characters. All right, number 3 for me is going to be the wrong way to use healing magic. Okay, this is another one which is a very unique take on the isekai that I am thoroughly enjoying, with another great cast of characters. The art style is, again, very proportional. It's going to be a theme here in these top 5 must watches. I am absolutely enjoying Love these two. Love these three isekai protagonists that we got. They could have went the atypical to be usual route, and they decided to go the polar opposite of that and give us very special characters, nice characters that are thrusted into a situation that is very unique, especially our main character. It's a great show. Wrong Way of Using Healing Magic, number 3 for me. Must watch. Go watch it.
My number 3 is one that I definitely feel like is fire, bro. It looks amazing. Sounds amazing. Delicious in Dungeon. Mm-hmm. I feel like it might have some unsung praises, and I haven't been on Twitter to even check. But this latest episode, where I was like, what are we watching? I came here for the food, and I watched how everything played out, and I was like, oh, no, this is a really good fucking episode. This is really good. So, yeah, Delicious in Dungeon, I definitely think you should watch. Especially if you have Netflix, it's there.
It's easy.
And it looks really good.
Day and Day dub, too. Dub is fire.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Spectacular dub. Great show so far. Yeah, Delicious in Dungeon is great. It's number 2 for me, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Number 2 for me is gonna be fuck. Okay. Number 2 for me is gonna be the 7th Time Loop. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be so mad because the number 1. No, sorry. Number 2 is Hokkaido Girls.
Okay.
Number 2 is Hokkaido Girls. I'm mad at myself because I just thought about something as we were continue this that I could change. I'm gonna pull an audible. What was my number 4?
A Sign of Affection.
Oh fuck! What was my number 5?
Unwanted Undead Adventure.
Okay, I'm taking that out the list.
All right.
Let's put Solo Level in there.
Okay.
Solo Leveling.
I feel like that was a given, but okay.
Yeah, I have to put Solo Leveling in the list, unfortunately. But call Undead Unwanted Adventure 5A. I don't give a fuck. 5B or whatever. Yeah. This is our show. We do what we want. I'm cheating a little bit, but Solo Leveling has to be in there, man. It has to be in there. So number 2 is Hokkaido Girls. Number 5 is Solo Leveling. Hokkaido Girls, again, very beautiful art style. Great cast of characters so far. I'm loving where this is going. And especially with the gal, man. The gal is super interesting to me. She's so very interesting.
She's a top 1 kind of character, bro.
100%.
Especially with the way that she delivered that whole meeting and orientation with the grandma.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Quality storytelling. Quality writing so far in this one too. And you can feel what I like what anime do and Yakuza does this well too, is they depict the different, at least in the subtitles, because again, I don't speak their language, but in the subtitles, they depict a different way of speaking. The way he talks is very, I don't speak Japanese, but it feels when you're reading it, very Tokyo, and the way she talks is very Hokkaido or country. And you could, the way you read it, you can feel that, and I love that attention to detail in shows like this. That shit is always special to me. But Hokkaido Girls is the number 2 must watch for me. But Solo Leveling. Let me go back to Solo Leveling real quick. People are worried, and I think we should do spoiler talk for Solo Leveling for sure. Okay. People are worried about the pacing of this. Don't. I'm telling you this now. Don't worry about the pacing. Don't worry about the fucking pacing. Trust me when I tell you this. And whoever said, because I think it was TCB in our Discord, he said people in other Discords are saying they're only covering one vibe. No, they're not. No, they're not. Trust me when I say this. This show is going to go. It's going to go far. It's going to take off. It's going to get past all the quote unquote slog, I guess some people may feel, or the slowness. It's not moving slow at all. It's moving at the perfect pace. Trust me when I tell you this. These next few episodes. Trust me when I say are going to pop off. So just rein it in a little bit. Rein it in and sit back and enjoy.
And here's the thing about Solo Leveling. Once it starts, it doesn't stop.
It's not going to stop.
You know, so, that's the thing. And that's why, and that, like I said, that is a little bit of a bias in us because we know. Mm-hmm. But once it starts, It literally does not stop.
Yep. So trust us when we say, do not worry about the pacing of Solo Leveling. It's going to be fine, and you're going to be fine. So believe me when I say this, it's nothing to worry about. Don't fret. Okay, don't fret. I never used "don't fret" in my life, but I'm adding it to my vocabulary now. Don't fret. You'll be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Trust me.
So to end this off with my top pick for the season is Seventh Time Loop. And I wholeheartedly agree with Polow. And I know that we didn't like go overboard with talking about episode of the week for it or anything like that. But even this episode this week, fucking phenomenal, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the characters in this anime, our protagonist, both of them, they are phenomenal. How they're navigating the world, and even the intro and outro sections, how they handle others around them. Mm-hmm. Man, it's something special about this, and it leaves me with a sense of excitement to see, like, God, what's coming next, bro? Yeah,
and this is, outside of the season 2s that are continuing, but this is my number one must-watch show for everybody that listens to this podcast. The Seventh Time Loop. Let me give you the full title. The Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys her carefree life married to her worst enemy. Is truly spectacular. And everything that Tel says, I ditto it. But I'm also going to add, what's very nice about this is the way that she took advantage of her situation. Mm-hmm. It's something you don't see in situations this often in this type of anime. It's instead of being traumatized, she's the opposite. You know what I'm saying? It's very, it's a very stark difference between this and the other level of anime that we've mentioned. I think the level between from this to the next show down, that's not a season 2, is relatively huge, except for Solo Leveling, because it's hard to put Solo Leveling into this category only because we've read Solo Leveling. So you have to
Solo Leveling that we know about, yeah.
Exactly. So you have to forgive us for not seeming like we're as excited for Solo Leveling as most are or will be. But when it comes to new shows that we know nothing about, Seventh Time Loop is a gap. It's a gap between this and then the next show. That's not a season 2. I say that because Dangers in My Heart is clearly above this even. But Seventh Time Loop is truly, truly above anything else that we're watching this season, for sure. That is a must watch.
Yeah,
100%. Easy pick. Okay, Tel, you want to run down what we got?
All right, Polow pulling an audible in his number 5 spot is Solo Leveling.
Sorry about that.
Me, The Unwanted Undead Adventure. Number 4 is A Sign of Affection for both of us. Number 3, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic for Polow. Me, Delicious in Dungeon, because come on. Both of those are great shows. I'm glad Polow chose that one. Number 2 for both of us, Hokkaido Gals. Number 1 for both of us, Seventh Time Loop. So yeah, we got some greatness there for everybody to watch.
100%. Like, now this could change when we go at the end of this season and give our top 5 must watches. It could be a completely different list. So be wary of that. Who knows? When I watch this 3rd episode of Ishura, it might even become a keeper. Doubt it, but
I feel like I just said it was trash.
Yeah, no, hey, one can dream.
You're gonna think it's worse.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. Yeah, you're probably right. Damn, I enjoyed that. All right, spoiler talk. What's going into spoiler talk this week? Solo Leveling, I think for sure should be there.
Yep.
Just so I can go into a little bit more detail about what I mean about don't worry about the pacing. So Solo Leveling. You seen Undead Unluck this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we add that in? Let's do that. Because I got some stuff.
Undead Unluck.
Yeah. And anything else?
I mean, we got plenty. We got Unwanted Undead Adventure. We can talk about Hokkaido Gals. We can talk about that one.
You want to throw Hokkaido Gals in there?
Yeah.
All right. We got a whole new spoiler talk 3 after the break. So if you haven't watched that, we'll see y'all next time or when you come back and watch those episodes. come back and finish the rest of the podcast and listen to our discussions on it. But other than that, see y'all next week. But we're going to take this quick break. And when we come back, we're going to spoil these episodes. Particularly episode 3 of Solo Leveling. Particularly episode 2 of Hokkaido Girls. And Undead Unluck episode 15. We'll be right back after these. And welcome back to 237 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, thank you so much for supporting us and listening to us. We can't do this without the ears and eyes of you. So thank you so much for chilling with us, man. It means everything. Starting off, solo leveling is going to be the jump off point for this week's spoiler talk. And to elaborate, okay, obviously episode 3, he decides to take the second chance. He hits yes to the question of the day. Do you want that second chance? I'm glad they kind of went back to and showed what it exactly said, because it was all so fast in a previous episode that the people didn't get a chance to see what they were saying, but it was spectacular to see. And then we saw him fail the first test because he didn't think whatever he was seeing was real.
He ain't take it serious. And he gets chased by that desert worm. Now that part already was way faster than it was in the manga.
So reading it took way longer for him to get through that than it was watching. It was quick when we were watching it. So then we kind of sped through that. This is why I say the pacing is going to be perfect, because what they did was they set up everything in the first 3 episodes so far to where the story can then, from this point on, go. And when I say go, it's not going to stop. The dog, I think, is the most memorable part of the manga for me when I was reading it. It's one of the most memorable parts because I could never forget that part. So I said the moment I saw the dog was going to be the moment I knew of how fast they were going. And that's episode 3 that I saw the dog. So now from here, I know exactly where it goes. And I'm not going to obviously touch on it on spoiler talk, but seeing that dog, huge for the pacing of it, because now I think it's going to just fly and it's going to be real nice.
Smooth selling from here.
Smooth selling from here. And then another thing that they kind of like sped up on was the training before he went into the dungeon. Like,
yeah, because he have.
Yeah, didn't they show in the manga like more days of him doing the challenge?
Right.
Yeah, so that was again more interesting to see, and it was dope.
To day 4 in this episode.
Exactly. So this with that, I think it's going to we're doing just fine as far as pacing goes. But I will say this: I fucking love the sound design of this show. The inner monologue effect that they do. I wonder if they're going to do that in the dub. You know what I'm saying? Is it even a dub out for you?
I imagine it will. I think the dub is out. The dub, I saw it was in Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So episode 1 is dubbed. I might have to go check that out just to see if they added that effect to it, because that effect, whatever that effect is, especially with my headphones and the sound system setup I have set up here on my computer, it gives me chills every time, because the emotion and the way it like floats in like the back of your head where they like directionally put the audio is spectacular. It's a special thing to do.
You know what I'm thinking about?
What's up?
Are they gonna do a voice change for?
I don't think you should say that.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. I already knew where you were going with that. What a fucking great question, Till. Holy shit. Okay. Wow. That's interesting. What a thought, bro. What a fucking thought.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This anime is, I understand the standoffishness about it. I don't really, because I read it, but I understand as someone, I guess, who, if I didn't watch it, I can kind of see where you're coming from. But just hear us out on this. Hear us out. Wait till next episode.
You're gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
I mean, and realistically, it should have been this episode. You should have been like, okay, I understand. This is good. But if you didn't get it this episode, I promise you, next episode you got it. It's for you. It's for you.
It's for you. And let me just touch on this, okay? Damn, that was such a good question. It took over what I was about to say because now I'm thinking about it. But let me just say this. I think what it is, and I'm not saying this is TCB or NYC, but I think this is a lot for a lot of people on the internet in general. And what I always say about the internet on After Stories, I don't really give a fuck about what anybody says there. So I'm just throwing it out there. But I think what it is that it's the contrarianism. I think it's people hearing about solo leveling, being, I'm not going to say jealous because that's the wrong term there, but they're seeing people talk about the manga the way we talked about it, or even other people just saying this manga's praises throughout history. You know what I'm saying? Throughout history of the internet since it's dropped from start to finish, solo leveling. Because I've been hearing about it even before we read it, and that's what made me read it, was hearing about it so much. So that I think it's a tad bit of contrarianism on the internet side of things, and that's like, now that it came out and people are starting to watch it, they're like, oh, this isn't as great as they said. Only to be contrarianism, not to be objective. And I think that's kind of sad, because it's, you have to, in the words of Rob J, temper your expectations when it comes to this stuff yourself. Don't necessarily take what the internet says, even the stuff we say. You can either take what we say and say, okay, I know Polow taste and I know Tell taste. Let me take my taste from those two and see what they think will lead to what I feel about this particular. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how we kind of do this show. I say don't even take what we say for right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just take our taste and know if our taste aligns with yours. If mine's don't, maybe Tell's will. If Tell's don't, then maybe mine's will. Just take those pieces of it and then find out for yourself in a way where you're still objective, not necessarily trying to be, oh, this show is so overhyped and it's not that good. Even though these first fucking 3 episodes were absolutely perfect. Even if I take away what I know about the future, I still think the pacing of these first 3 episodes were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then the look of it is, I can't say that because even as a manga reader, it's absolutely perfect. It looks just like the manga. Like the manga is one of the best drawn mangas of all time. Yeah, it's just copied and paste. So obviously the manga looked fantastic. So this is going to look fantastic. Yeah, I think you should just temper your expectations and just watch it, but keep that contrarier lens elsewhere. Take whatever the other Discord is saying, take whatever people are saying on Twitter and throw it out. Just follow it yourself. Understand what you're watching and just think about what you're watching too. Cause it's like, this shit is so far, it laid out the groundwork brilliantly, I think personally.
And I think to shorten it, right? What Polow is saying is give yourself a chance.
Yes.
Don't let anybody else tell you what you should be seeing or how you should be receiving it. Yep. Give yourself a chance, because if you're not looking at it for yourself and trying to ingest it and understand what you're watching, it don't make a difference.
Right.
So you got to give yourself a chance with something like this and see if you actually like it. Now, if you don't like it and you're not being contrarian, then who are we to judge? It is what it is. But that's overall what it is that, like, yeah, just because there's 2 million people on Twitter saying this is the hottest thing since overcooked bread. It's not that. It's literally just watch it for yourself and tune everybody else out when you're watching this one specifically, because you know, especially for big shows in general.
Yeah, because
big shows in general, tune everybody else out, and you need to take your chance to enjoy it yourself, like Kev on stage watching Full Metal Alchemist or something like that.
People are saying it's like, I don't know about the pace. Like that's what you're thinking about now because of people talking about the pacing, and again, this is not directly towards TCB, but this is the internet in general, because he's not the only one that said this. It's the pacing that people are worried about. Stop worrying about the pacing and enjoy the show. I promise you, you're going to be okay. The pacing is, again, if you're looking at it objectively and not looking at the fact that there's 12 episodes, it's going to be fine. 4 through 12, I promise you, you're going to get more than enough content that'll satiate every type of aspect of whatever anybody likes. If you like slice of life, they got some of that in there. You like you like hands? I promise you, you're going to love the hands on this one. And then you love world building. I promise you, this world is built, bro. And these first 3 episodes built it brilliantly. So don't worry about the future in the 12 episode cap. Don't worry about people saying the pacing is so slow so far. Don't worry about any of that. Just sit back and enjoy it, and you won't be disappointed. Don't worry about it. I promise. I promise. Moving on. What's the next show? Hokkaido Gals. Oh, Undead Unluck. Okay. Yeah. Undead Unluck.
You want to say about this one?
Yes. So Ishura, I watched Ishura first, and then I went to Undead Unluck. I watched the first 2 episodes of Ishura, and I watched Undead Unluck. The show was so fucking boring. I turned on Undead Unluck like, yes, I'm happy I'm watching this.
That's insane.
Because listen, as shonen being probably my least favorite genre of any of all anime, I think something like Undead Unluck, where it's had 20 or 15 episodes or whatever to build, I think that this most recent episode gave me everything I like about the show and none of the bad shit I like about the show. Everything I like about the show is character building. When they actually do character building, I think I said this multiple times before, but Fuko is clearly the best character in the show, is because of the building that's being done with her, not necessarily everything else that's going on around her. And now what's his name? Chikara. What is his name?
The
new guy. Unmove, yeah. I'm gonna just call him Unmove. Unmove being thrusted into this with his story and the building between that is spectacular. Then now that we're finally getting some overarching end goal with this to kill God, I'm more interested than I was prior. But I still fucking hate this shitty power system. I think it's so dumb. I think it's so stupid. I think it is the dumbest power system of any shonen I've ever seen. It probably my least favorite of all time. But I'm starting to enjoy the show more.
Black Clover?
Huh?
Even compared to Black Clover?
Black Clover was at least more streamlined. It was simplistic and streamlined. So yeah, honestly. I like it's stupid the way they get their powers in Black Clover and the way they execute it and all that bullshit. The no type of growth whatsoever in that show. But this one is too convoluted and it's trying to get too convoluted to be cute and it's not. It's missing the mark there for me. I get it. It want to be different. I do get it. I understand that. But it's not as special as it's trying to be, and it's irritating. It's all it is irritating. But outside of that, with the characters, I'm liking it more. I'm starting to like Andy more, even though he was annoying at first. He was just as annoying as any Black Clover character I've seen at the beginning of me watching this. Mm-hmm. But he started slowly becoming more likable for me personally. And then the table, Titania, is it Titania? That's a Warframe. So it is Titania. Wow, she's named after a Warframe. Tatiana, that's her name. Tatiana. I loved what we got in the last couple episodes of her. Mm-hmm. She's special. And Huiz, the number one, Unjustice. I love Unjustice. I love Unjustice so far, and I'm continuing to like her, even though she had a small sliver of this. It was just her looking at this little board, but that implication of their goal is to kill God and to end all this shit. I love that. Or to kill God, to stop him from ending all of this shit, I should say. I love it. I love where the characters are going within the story of the show. Hate the power system. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to add to that. I don't think the power system is that bad, but I can understand why you feel it.
It's too cute.
The only reason I think that the power system ain't that bad is because there's always a give and take with the power. You know what I mean?
That's why it's too cute.
I feel you. But for me, I don't think it's all that cute. But I can understand why it feels like because you have to explain the give and take for every single character.
Fucking yes.
Like, oh my God, this is irritating.
Yes.
So I feel you on that. Because I think it's yes, everybody's power has a give and take regardless of what power system we in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you ain't got to explain it for every single character to come out. We can see it as it happens. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I feel you. And
then they'd be like, I even explain what my rule is. It's just so fucking dumb. Let's just stop. It's so because they talk to us like we're stupid. Obviously, because you have to, because of this convoluted power system you made. And I hate being talked to like I'm stupid because you're talking down to me. I could just do it and let me figure it out for myself. That would have made it so much cooler. But it's the explanations of every fucking thing that drives me up a fucking wall. That's the only thing I didn't like about Bleach, because Bleach did it too. Like, they just explained every fucking, what I do is you don't need to do that. I promise you. Just let us watch it, let us see it happening, and let us figure it out for ourselves, because we're not dumb. We will get it. But shonens, I feel like they have to, because most people are here for the hands anyway.
No, I was gonna say, explain it to me sometimes. I ain't.
No, like, you know who explained it well? I think I talk about this all the time. Hell's Paradise. It was the way it was perfectly given to characters who knew nothing about it, right? Like, it was delivered in a way, like, it was kind of piecemeal, but it was piecemeal in a way that made sense for the situation that they were in. And the way it flowed out.
It went with the moment by moment. So yes. It wasn't overdone. It was action, explanation, things happening. Next episode, action, built on that explanation. Things keep moving. action. All right, this is the conclusion to that explanation. Going, boom, more action. Hold up. You thought you knew everything. Switch it. That kind of stuff. So yes, I can understand that too.
That's exactly right. It's the perfect power system. JJK is still too complicated sometimes for a lot of people. I get why people would say that, but it's still a pristine system that I just fucking love. I love that fucking system. But it is convoluted. Very convoluted.
Here's what I think you don't like. Because I don't think it's the convoluted. And it could be the convoluted. Because I think it's the randomness of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it's like Hunter x Hunter. They explain the power system, right? But you see people and the powers are just all random, but we understand how they explain the actual nature of the system and all that stuff and why that works, right? This one, the nature of the power system is the God itself and these specific negators. So it's like, in order to have a power, you gotta be a negator. For the negator's power to be transferred to someone else, the negator has to die, and then a random person on Earth gets that power. And it's like the explanation for where the actual culmination, where the origin of the power is, and how it coalesces into who it's going to. There's no explanation for it, so it almost seems entirely random, which that's what it is. Basically.
I that when they explain that part, I got it. I got it all. What I don't like is the when and where and how it's explained. Stop doing this shit at these moments that don't make no fucking sense. Like the fight between, like when they were fighting Unrepair.
They're already shooting the fair ones.
Bro, shut the fuck up and fight. Just I know what's going on. It can't be repaired because unless I'm dead. Like, stop. I get it.
And then they explain it 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. I get what you're doing. It's too cute. It's doing too much. So it has to explain too much. When it explains too much, is most of the episode done. And we just kind of slowly trickle through this show where the pacing kind of stinks. And it feels like when we get to the world, finally, it feels good. But it took 15 episodes to get to the world, the shit that actually matters, the overarching story of what we're going after. 15 episodes to get there because you spend 14 of the motherfuckers explaining this power system. To me, that it's not that complicated, but you're trying to make it complicated.
And to kind of add to what you're saying, it wouldn't have felt as bad if they spent that time developing the characters more.
Yes, first.
And developing, because like one of my favorite parts of the entirety of the series is when they got to the table with the rest of the union and started talking about.
I think I said that.
Was. Yeah, and it was like, Unluck. She's like, I ain't even know nothing about all of this, and it was like we're getting all this information. It's like, oh nah, this is dope. This is actually kind of dope. But then it's like you still got to explain everything furthermore as we get into other enemies and stuff like that. So I feel it. It's like every time you see a new Pokemon, it's like I've played Pokemon for 20 years at this point. You gotta tell me every Pokemon ability every single time. I know what Blaze mean.
Yep.
I know what that does. You don't have to tell me every single time.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like the thing about Tatiana, it wasn't them explaining her. It was an episode of them explaining her powers, and it was an episode of her explaining the backstory. Explain the backstory. Don't explain the power. It's okay to just explain the backstory and let us figure out what the power is. It was 2 separate episodes for that.
And I feel like what was cool about it is that even in the explanation of her backstory or her power, it wasn't so much her power, it was why she was in the suit to begin with. So it didn't focus on the power specifically, it focused on what got her into the suit and why she needed it. And then we got to see the power. And that wasn't even the next episode. The next episode, it was like not even talking about the power anymore. And then the episode after that was like, boom, now she's using her power because she got put in a situation where they didn't have a choice. And it was like, that was so much better. So I feel you too. I feel you on that, bro. I ain't disagreeing with you. I feel you.
There is very particular ways of doing things. And what I do is I harken back to this ain't got nothing to do with that. Because the hype for Undead Unluck, I only saw like 2 people talking about it. And that was Scuba Steve and I forget who else. It was some random person. That was the only time I was on the internet and I saw anything about it. But it was, I think I harken back to the other power systems that I know and love Fire Force, Bleach, JJK, Hell's Paradise. These are 4 power systems that I absolutely love. So when I get something, or My Hero, even I love My Hero's ones. This Quark system, it's simple and sweet. When I harken back to those and think about Undead and Luck, I'm like, this shit it's corny to me. I honestly, it's just corny. But then, like I said in this most recent episode, getting the goals and what we're doing in this world feels so much better and easier to watch and digest and understand. And I go back to the internet. They were right. It takes a while to get going, but when it gets going, it's going. If it took 15 episodes to do that, though, that's not good. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to those previous seasons of My Hero that I said I didn't like, which is 4 and 5, seasons 4 and 5. 25% of your show is good. Your show isn't good.
Oh no.
No. 3 was fine. 3 was fine. It was 4 and 5 for sure. 6 was great, but it's if it takes that long, then that don't make it good.
Yeah, especially considering we got 9 episodes left, right?
Exactly. So if these 9 episodes are straight fire, that's not enough. That's still a 50-something%, which means
it'll be less.
It'll be less than 50%. So it'll still be an F, essentially. That's kind of how I look at it when I judge the entire show. But I'm hoping that it just fucking takes off. And from here, it's all about the world and train and Fuko becoming efficient in combat and Chikara, whatever his name is, Unmoved becoming efficient in combat and seeing it grow from there is what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully it continues that trajectory. But that's what I wanted to say about Undead Unluck. Sorry, that was a little more of a Polow rant than a spoiler talk, but I hope y'all feel me. You know, even if you disagree, I hope y'all feel what I'm saying. Moving on.
All right.
Sound of Affection.
Hokkaido Gals.
Oh, Hokkaido Gals. I forgot what we were supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, that was good. That was way more time on Undead Unluck than I expected.
Sorry.
Hokkaido Gals.
Now we know that episode 3 is out and it's already going, but this is episode 2 that we're discussing because that was a very, very good and important. It's only episode 2, but I feel like I've been with these characters for 15 already.
Hey, it's crazy.
Isn't that insane? Talk to me, Tim.
I love this because our MC, I kind of get him. I'm getting him more because it's like he has a family that's pretty conservative.
Yep.
And he comes from he came from Tokyo to here, so yeah, it's a bit of an adjustment to him. But I love the fact that like he's here. There's a lot of things he hasn't experienced, and she's just like, you make me love all of this more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All these things I thought I wanted to get away from, you make it so enjoyable. And let's be real, sometimes you need somebody to show you why you enjoy something. And it's like, man, it was interesting to see how his reactions amplified the things and how she just went into straight, like, let me see what you think about this food. Let me see what you think about this. And it was like, I love it, right? Because that is care. That's genuine care. And I think that's genuine care for him. You know what I mean? Like he's genuinely being cared for in this scenario.
I disagree.
Okay.
And while you're right, I think she does care about him, but I think it's more so a genuine care for her, more so of her hometown in particular. Like, you know what? Maybe this country bumpkin place isn't as bad as I think it is, because if this guy from Tokyo can enjoy these, what I feel to be small things, then maybe I should show him more to see if where I'm from ain't that bad. While obviously it's more is building towards something more romantically, right? But right. I think this episode was just about her appreciation for where she lives and where she comes from, essentially, and the different worlds that they're in.
Right. And I say it's genuine care because of how she carried herself in the latter end of this episode. Because to me, that looked like somebody who cares. Because she did not want to be called a classmate. Yeah.
That was fire.
Like, you could have called me a friend or something. So, called me a classmate? Are you serious? So that was. But what I loved about that, before you scoop past that though, the best part about that, I think personally, is him just
shortly after explaining exactly why he did it. What I hate is when, not that I hate it, but the trope is usually that it doesn't get explained, so so everything is misunderstood. When that happens, it throws off the entire vibe of the show intentionally for story building purposes, so they can grow closer together after an instance like that. But it was almost right after that explanation was given to her. Like, listen, I had to say that because of this. I love that part. That was my favorite part of the entire episode. Well, not of the entire episode, but of the episode. It was a great part because of the simple fact is, like, clear that shit up so it don't turn into this misunderstanding. Then she understood.
Right, and I agree, because we said this in the first episode. He seems like the kind of MC we don't like.
Yeah, maybe I was being a little dramatic there. I mean, it's not that we don't like it. It's just so typical. Yeah,
but that ability to explain that, to use words,
yes,
is I hate to say that, it's like different, but the fact that he was able to use words and verbalize, I had to, because that's my grandma.
And that's not the only time he did that, right? Because the other time he did that was when he said to her straight up, like, I never even been on a date before, like that. Him just explaining all this shit, then her going to write to, not that you're a nerd or a loser or something like that, was, oh, you must be a rich kid. That to me was like, oh my God, I love these characters so much because of it's completely taken every trope that I've seen in the hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of slice of life anime that I've watched and flipping it on its head. It's making the show more impressive because of that particular point.
And I feel like the part of the show that just made or part of this specific episode that made this like, oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah, this is why I had to choose episode of the week, was when they were essentially walking together.
Yes.
And they end up in the the igloo ass thing.
Oh God, yeah.
Hear me out, man. Hear me out.
It's so silly.
That was a bit much.
It was a bit much.
I didn't know what I was watching.
Yes.
Like, this is what I think it is.
Oh my goodness.
Let me make sure I explain myself to Monique before she go again, and I ain't watching this without her.
Oh my gosh.
But hear me out. That moment passed, and the fact that he got caught in that kind of what would essentially be an uncomfortable situation by his grandma. And, and yes, I can see immediately after that what was heard, what was assumed, right? Because assume, make an ass out of you and me. Facts. But what could be assumed, what could be presumed, was that they were having a very spontaneous moment. But basically, it was the conversation that comes after that, and that's what we talked about, where it had to be explained, or it was explained, and that's what made us both appreciate the main character more.
100%.
But what made me appreciate her more was that she just didn't fold to the grandma. You know what I mean?
She was nervous.
The grandma was like, yeah, we about to go ahead and head out. Let's go. And she was like, yeah, but you have an umbrella. And she's like, okay, I have an umbrella.
It's snowing.
Yeah, it's snowing. Are you serious? Like, if you fall, your hands ain't available to catch yourself. And she immediately takes over. You can just wipe the snow off. Where's your house at? Let me help you get home
faster. Yep.
Let me carry your stuff. And I'm just like, yo, it wasn't the fact that, like, because she was clearly bothered or understood what was going on, right? Because it seems like she may have encountered conservative people before, but the idea that she was unbothered, unfeathered, and she just said, you know what? I can continue to move through this, and I'm gonna do me. It wasn't about anything else other than her, what seemed seemingly so, her being herself.
Yep. Unintentionally.
She doesn't seem like a bad person at all.
Right.
She just seems extremely interested. And that what she did in this is, like I said, it seems like an extremely caring thing, that I don't know this lady, but I know this situation. And she really isn't from here very, very often, or she's not here often. She's walking around with an umbrella. So let me kind of rectify and set this straight. And it wasn't to say, hey, I'm sorry that you caught me, because she never apologized for being caught in that state.
She wasn't doing nothing wrong.
Right. She never apologized for being herself. She never, and I love that, because in these scenarios, most times people are apologizing that they got caught for doing something that they weren't doing. They were apologizing for being themselves. I love that she never did that. Because I feel like in almost any other anime, it would have been so, like we always talk, like we've been talking about already, it would have gone unexplained. But here, it didn't need to be explained because it was like nothing happened.
Exactly.
Nothing happened. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I love that. And it was like, oh no, this episode of the week. This is it.
Yeah. My favorite part of the show was the grandmother seeing her grandson smile. And then they go into that flashback of his smile. You could tell they just really care for him. Like, and that again is a great feeling to see that the grandmother is realizing, oh, this girl is putting a smile on my grandson's face that I haven't seen in a long time. It's truly interesting. That was my absolute favorite, was getting the inner monologue of the grandmother. And again, when shows build multiple characters to be interesting, or multiple characters to be more than just side characters, i.e. one of my favorite shows of all time, Undead does it extremely well. It brings out more immersion into watching the show. And I think it's special. Hokkaido Gals is going to be special. Now, what I'm looking forward to is this next episode, because it seems to be introducing another gal who is just as adorable, who seems just as, she's kind of standoffish, but she's going to be an interesting kind of, I think, dynamic thrown into what this show is. By the time y'all seeing this, y'all already see her, and we've already seen her. But, well, at least I have, because I'm going to watch it on Monday. But I'm looking forward to what it's about to be. I hope she ended up liking our main character too. Hear me out. Not in a harem kind of way, but in a kind of a natural way of things. And it kind of starts to build some kind of mess. Because I think in this particular show, it'll be more interesting than your typical mess.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I say that.
I agree. And that was, it did provide kind of an ominous, but I almost feel like they overplayed the ominous, so it's not really going to be ominous when it happens. You know what I mean? And I hope they didn't. I hope you're right about the ominous being actually something. Yeah, because I feel like they overplayed the ominous, and it's going to be whole. And when I say, I think when you say that though, you mean like, I'm saying, because they put like that dark look on, like the shadow on the face, the side eye. That's what I mean by ominous. I don't mean like there's not going to be any messing, because I definitely think there's going to be some kind of mess in here. That's what I want. I also think that they made it seem like this character is direct opposition. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily think that this anime is that, and I'm not sure yet. But I don't think it is that, because it says the Hokkaido Gals are super adorable. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see the opposition. I see the Hokkaido Gals are super adorable. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's gonna be not that. It might have some mess in it, but I don't think it's gonna be crazy messy. I think it's gonna be no. Yeah, I want it to be the type of mess where the other girl is blunt, and she's like, you know what? No, fuck no. Hell no, I don't want that mess anywhere else but Scum's Wish. Leave that shit there. But I want this girl to be blunt. I want her to be honest and say, you know, I think you're nice. Let's go out or something like that. And I wanted to make it seem like the other girl has to make a move. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to. That's the kind of mess I want. I want that kind of comedy. Yeah, kind of, but more prominent. Because my team romantic comedy snafu, it was implied but never explained because it didn't need to be, which is the best part about that show. But I want it to be direct. I want her to have that personality where it's direct, and it kind of leads to something like that. And that is going to make this so interesting. I fucking can't wait. It probably already happened. You never know. So if my gut check is correct, I'll be talking in Discord. I think a gut check kind of on point. You think so? But yeah. But what I was gonna say was that what you normally do? I'm at Polow Bornflower on all social media. I'm at King Telliano on all social media. You can follow our social media. Is at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter, and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And as always,
Mike, check. Great tamer. Great tamer.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?